Hare Krishna. Good afternoon, everybody. A very happy Wednesday to you all. So this is kind of like the third time we're doing this because I kept making some little mistakes here and there as we're doing this live stream. But I'm here with Krishnam Goel from Salt Lake City, Utah. He is one of my most recent graduates from the Bhakti Leadership Academy. He did 2 years of Bhakti literature study with us, with the whole team. And he's now helping me with a group of other students to optimize these courses, to put them on a better platform, and to prepare for all the incoming students that are starting up at the end of this month in 2 or 3 weeks. And so we were hanging out here working on the platform, on the educational platform, the courses platform. And I'm so impressed with his ability and he's so fast at setting the technology up that I just wanted to introduce him to all of you. And so, yeah, go ahead, Krishnam, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hello. So I'm 15. I'm in high school, and for my daily life, I guess during the school year, it would probably be like a lot of school, obviously, over 50%. But during the summer, I like playing sports, chess, computer programming, which is something I'm learning right now, a couple languages, because I'm thinking for a future career, computer programmer, ever expanding field actually. Or on the flip side, probably environmental law, two really pack heavy fields. So something I'm looking forward to.
Environmental law is really, for sure, I can see computer programming in your future just because you're just automatically, naturally so good at doing stuff with the computer. I've been so impressed with how quickly you're figuring all this out for me. But tell me a little bit about environmental law. I think a lawyer would be an interesting career for you.
Yeah,
What attracts
so
you to that?
a lot of people when they think of like lawyers, they think of like, criminal law, fighting against murderers, kidnappers, such like that. But I always maybe had some interest, but then I felt like, what if I'm defending someone who is actually guilty? But then there's environmental law. You see like big oil companies, even here in Utah, there's going to be a huge railroad that's going to cut through miles of like perfect forest to drill out oil from the Uinta Basin, which is going to completely destroy the ecosystems there. And there's no like sense of doubt that there's a guilty party here, or that maybe the earth is the guilty one, because that's not something that's going to happen. So I always thought that environmental law could be something that I would like to do.
I love that you're conscious of the earth. Just today, I gave Bhagavatam class in the morning at the temple, Krishnam, and it
Mhm.
was about Bhumi Mata. Mother Earth was she was really upset, and the bull, Dharma, the bull came by, and the verse was her saying how she was so concerned about all the living entities on her planet. And I love that. There's a show that we watch every now and then. I think it's How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you've heard
Mhm.
that TV show. And the guy in there he's interested in environmental law. I just remember that about it. But anyways, so um also chess. Are you just play as a hobby, or do you do it
It's a
professionally?
hobby. I go to some tournaments. Utah isn't the biggest place. They have some tournaments, few Saturdays. I I do like chess. Yeah, like sports is a team sport, and a lot of times, sometimes when you lose, it wasn't really your fault. Chess is a one-on-one mental combatant sport. If you lose, it was up to you. There are places where you could have won, and I feel like it's like the most strategic of all board games. And there's so much depth in 64 squares that I find is really poetic, about chess.
Oh, wow, beautiful. You're such an intelligent boy. So for those who were watching, for his active leadership project at the end of the Bhagavad Gita module, the last half of it, they are involved in team management, putting together objectives, a common goal. They have a bunch of responsibilities that are given to them as part of the course, kind of synthesizing everything they've learned so far with communication and tasks efficiency. And what Krishnam's project was, he wanted to make easy access online for anyone to get a Bhagavatam set. And he had a whole plan of action that he put into place for that. It was such an exciting goal for a 14, I think at that time he was 14, or just a young boy, 15, and deciding to take Krishna consciousness to the next level like that was just so inspiring. Yeah. Okay. So right now we're going to show you a little bit about what we're doing. We're just transitioning the courses from Google Classrooms to a new portal. And Krishna will go over what a child, what a student, what a teenager can expect in these classes. So they're for 12 to 18-year-olds. As you can see, Krishna started with us when he was 13 and now he's 15. Go ahead, Krishna. You can share your screen
Yes,
and take.
so we're this is still all being set up. There's a lot of testing going on, but there's going to be one large module or maybe several for each week, depends on which we find easier to access. So typically there'll be like a normal week one lesson. Um, there'll be this lesson that Mataji will tell you more about, but we'll go through that. And then there'll be a second part, which could be done partially in class or partially at home, which will be a discussion post. So, for example, the interactive notebooks, which Mataji will also tell you more about, everybody can share their interactive notebooks here. There will be also discussion questions, which will merit more discussion posts. And yeah, that'll be an overall summary of like what 1 week for a student would be.
Yeah, so go ahead and bring us to the first page where I can show, yeah. So here, this is just our first verse, our first lesson, the children. I don't want to call you guys children because I don't feel like a 15-year-old's a child anymore or a 13-year-old. So the teenagers, they drop into breakout rooms. We read it together or they read it separately in their breakout rooms and they have active discussions. If you can see the verses Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, and we go down all the way to the breakout room discussion question. And we talk about really relevant things because we connect Srila Prabhupada's purports. So the first two pages are Srila Prabhupada's purports, and then we drop into, especially for this module, for the first set of Nectar of Instruction, we're dropping into Sean Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, where they learn leadership principles that have been matched up to the concepts of the purports and of the verses. So for example, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, to control one's urges, fits right in with proactivity versus reactivity. And the book itself is made for teenagers, and so they get to discuss a lot. They love, actually, every time, like we just finished a conversation with all of them, like, what did you like? What do you want more of? What do you think kids want more of? And they really, really love the discussion questions because they get to talk to each other. They get to meet kids from New Jersey to Michigan to Utah to Toronto to Vancouver to Houston, Dallas. I mean, there's kids all over the world meeting with each other, discussing these concepts with each other. And sometimes we do games, sometimes we do, and then we do usually a group project every 4 weeks. There's a group project that they can work on offline. And then Krishnam, do you want to drop us now into the assignment, the homework assignment in
Yes.
under the interactive notebook? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So the interactive notebook, I guess I'll talk about more practical side, and Mataji can explain more in depth the actual applications. But there'll be instructions here about. Well, actually, there's a preview here. There'll be instructions on how to do this week's interactive notebook. There's the actual pages, which will be like one for each week, and students will print out, do the cutting, gluing, coloring if they want. And then they can all post it here in individual reply boxes, and you can respond to other students, and you can see how other students use the same resources you did to show different designs, write different things to show your understanding of the concepts, etc.
Yeah, and what's so cool is that they watch the video and they all submit their own videos, and I love hearing their conversations, and they comment on each other's videos. And so are you able to open up the actual interactive notebook pages, or we don't have that yet?
I don't think those are in the, I don't think I have access to those yet.
Okay, I think I need to do that, right? With my Flipgrid. So let me do that.
Sure.
Here we go. I'll share my screen. Let me just pull it up real quick. So if you go to gopigita.com/bhakti work, you will see a variety of student work. And so you have an idea of what you or your teenager is working on. What was interesting to me, Krishnam, was that you told me that right now in school, you do nothing in paper and paper and pencil. It's basically my life too. I don't do much on paper and pencil. Even I was working with this young lady, Padma, and she's a concept artist, and she was doing drawing graphic art, and it was all through the pen tool on a little pad, and it was all through the computer. So it's really good for them. I had taken a Montessori workshop where it said it's really good for teenagers to still create because they're still building their identities and their neural pathways. And the left brain and the right brain combined with putting facts and information and concepts through art is a really important skill. Let's see if I can find a video here of Krishnam. I don't think I have one on this page. I might have it on the other page. Oh, there we go. Well, we've got a BG memory work. But we'll just go ahead and open up this one here. This is from Darshini.
So I'm going to show you my interactive
And you can
notebook.
go on this
So
page
this is my
and
table of
check out.
contents. I've added the new fourth is contradict. I've added the new page. And these are the empathy blocks. I've added a river full of empathy blocks. This is what it says under each of them. This is my next page, puzzle blocks. I'll open them. The first one is boredom. Second is lecturing. Third is one-upping. Fourth is contradicting. Fifth is kiss it. And last is sympathy. So that was my interactive notebook. Thank you for watching, and Hare Krishna.
And so that was Darshini. She's very creative. A lot of the students were very creative with
Hare
their
Krishna.
books.
In this video, I'll be showing you my final mini books for the Nectar of Instruction course. This is the box from the outside. There's the 4 outer labels, and then the 4 inner labels. And this week, I'm showing the Govardhan Hill Peacock, the Radhakund Flower, and my...
At the end of the Nectar of Instruction course, they do an explosion box. So fun to create that. How was your experience with the explosion box, Krishnam?
That was, I think me and Ram, who's another student who had some trouble, had some similar experiences. One thing, it was really fun. One thing that happened was YouTube sometimes jumps forward to a start of suggested clip. So I'd miss some of the starting, and I used to think that was the start. So I'd try to do it by myself by just looking at it, which was a unique experience. But for the most part, it was really satisfying to have the finished box and seeing the double explosion and being
I'm curious, do you still have that box somewhere?
Yes, I do have that all the way upstairs in my room, in my closet. I still have that. I keep that. It's really fun just to check it on it every couple months and see all of the separate side flaps and the random memories I have making all those.
Yeah, that was really fun. I'm glad we're starting that again. It's been like a year, right, since we've done Nectar of Instruction. So that'll be interesting. Well, thank you so much, Krishnam. I loved working with you, and we're still here working. Just go ahead to all of you who are watching and sign up your teenagers for this amazing course. Krishnam, tell us a little bit about what you liked about the course. I know in the beginning you weren't necessarily feeling it, like, okay, what is this about and why do I got to do that? And I know a lot of the kids start off with a little bit of a push from mom and dad, but tell us a little bit about why did you stick out for 2 years? You kept with it, and why was that?
I think one of the main things, well, first I should start off with why I was skeptical. I felt like leadership qualities, especially in application or context of future jobs, future relationships, material side of life, wouldn't really fit in with spiritual principles. But as I went through the class every Friday, I realized how much of it is actually interconnected. It's like how Srila Prabhupada said that a lot of these principles are very, very important and needed in today's human society. And I felt like that was really prevalent through the classes. And one of the reasons I stuck through it for 2 years was just every Friday. For me, I'm in mountain time, so it's 4 o'clock, and that means directly after school, which I should have thought was a chore. It's like just gone through 7 hours. Now it's another hour of work, but it never really felt like that. It felt more like a get together with friends, having a discussion, maybe not of the sort I would normally have with friends, but a discussion nonetheless, where I got to learn in what I felt like was a more unique matter than that's usually presented in schools and other similar classes.
Wow, that's a great little soundbite there, young man. Leadership principles. At first, you were skeptical that leadership principles would be able to would be connected to spiritual stuff, to spiritual concepts. And I'm so grateful that you got a chance to see everything. Of course, leadership principles are, because Prabhupada trained us to be Brahmanas, and Brahmanas are the leaders of society. But just hearing it from your mouth, because you are a Vaishnava who's been practicing Krishna consciousness for now 15 years. So in the old days, Krishna, in the 60s and 70s, you would be considered a senior Vaishnava, because in those days, devotees who were there for 5, 6, 7 years, they were given the responsibility of temple president. So I'm excited about where your life will take you. I'm excited about if we continue staying in connection, of placing you in some, serious leadership positions in ISKCON. I think that you have so much that you can do. And I'm so excited to be part of witnessing that journey ahead of us. So gopigita.com/bhaktiwork, gopigita.com/NOI. Go join, go sign up your teenagers. We're trying to get very many more. We want this spread far and wide. So all of our children who are skeptical, who will be skeptical, because that's the age, 12 years old, 13 is the time to question. They must question. It's part of their developmental space right now. Let them question, let them be skeptical, and drop them into these courses so that they can be as inspiring and as inspired as our young Krishnam. So thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to hit that share button, and I hope to see you all on the other side, inside of these cute little classrooms that we have made. Hare Krishna.